Tom Livingston, 58, originally from Michigan. I've been here in North Idaho for a few years now. So grew up a competitive athlete, basketball, track, swimming, and I think those team sports helped me get into the medical sales world as well right out of graduate school. But as my career advanced, I got to the point where I had fewer and fewer opportunities for that. A lot of travel and eating on the road certainly contributed to that weight gain, but I think also lower sleep quality. So about 15 years ago, I got my first sleep study, and I was over in Seattle, and I had noticed a really bad snoring issue.
So I'm Autumn Ramsrud, Tom Livingston's significant other. We've been together a little over 10 years. And when we first got together, there was a little bit of snoring, not that big a deal. But I would say probably 5-6 years in, the snoring started to get a little more aggressive, I guess you could say, to the point where he would, stop breathing and then choke. And then start breathing again. And those episodes started to become more frequent throughout the night. And as you can imagine, I wasn't sleeping because I'm laying there listening to him not breathing and then counting the seconds between breaths. And it became very concerning. Tom's day-to-day was exhausted. Took a lot of coffee in the morning, some espresso in the afternoon, and I worked a 8 to 5:30 job, so, I would be dragging throughout the day because I wasn't sleeping well at night either.
The real turning point came when Autumn videotaped me sleeping, and it wasn't just snoring that was the issue. I certainly have been kind of a lifelong snorer, but it was me, choking myself and not breathing at all for 30, 40 seconds at a time.
I needed him to hear what it sounded like to maybe take it seriously, so took some audio recordings in bed at night, and that was kind of the start of, his realization that something was really wrong.
Seeing that and how helpless I looked and how detrimental that looked, that just really opened up my eyes. And that was the wake-up call for me to go back and get another sleep study and address this. This is not going to contribute to my longevity, but it also was not going to contribute to what I wanted to accomplish career-wise and just quality of life-wise as a dad, as a partner. And so that was the beginning of it. And it took about 5 days for me to get a call back from Dr. Tasha at Northwest Specialty. She called me, was in the parking lot at my gym, getting ready to go have a workout, and she informed me of just how severe my OSA issue was. So it wasn't a snoring issue. It was a not breathing issue for 10 seconds or more. There were times it was 30 to 40 seconds I wasn't breathing. I was not recovering from the workouts I was doing. I was really just digging a hole deeper and deeper. So we talked about the Inspire implant option, which I was very open to, and the more I learned about it, the more interested I was in doing that. I had some other issues going on that I never knew about, that she found out about. I had a deviated septum, and then the turbulence in my sinuses had built up over time, and that was really impacting my upper airway. So she wasn't just trying to move me into an Inspire implant, but she looked at me holistically of what I could do. The expectation was about 30 days after the implant, we can turn it on. It gets turned on. So that's when I would meet the Inspire team along with Dr. Tasha and her team and get it activated. Yeah, so that AHI, that score of 47 that I originally got went down to 2. And my oxygen saturation rate, so, the percentage of oxygen in my body while I was in that sleep study was in the mid to high 90s.
Well, I've been sleeping better, which is fantastic. He's been sleeping better and, not having to nap during the day. And, it's 1 cup of coffee in the morning, not, 4 shots of espresso in the afternoon. Workouts are better, recovery's better, just generally everything is better. It was
dramatic. And I started to see, certainly, my relationship with Autumn, and she definitely saw the difference right away and could sleep. So relationships better. My productivity at work through the roof is great. And then my blood pressure has come down significantly. I mean, the Inspire implant and therapy is fantastic, matched with the care that I got from Northwest Specialty and how personalized that felt. Each time I got a surgery at Northwest Specialty, I got a follow-up handwritten card in the mail from everyone that I came in contact with. It was just a nice personal touch that made it feel like I mattered to them. I wasn't just a number, and that was really powerful. I really appreciated that. The biggest thing that I share with people is This wasn't about addressing a disease state, like curing cardiovascular disease or cancer or diabetes. I did this because I want a high quality life today. OSA it's a killer, and it's also a team decision. It's for the whole family, right? I would say, do it for your life. It's that central. And everyone likes quality sleep. That's kind of the level set. It starts there. And if you're getting really good quality sleep, most of the rest of your life is going to improve.